How's it going, boys? Danny here, and in today's video I'm going to be answering the question, is New World worth playing? So to give you a bit of background information, I've been playing New World for quite some time, in and out of the alphas and betas, and I have around 2,000 hours invested so far. So I feel like I have got my money's worth, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the game, and then I'll finally answer the question, do I think it's worth playing? So New World is set on the mysterious island of Eternum. You shipwreck up on the island during a storm. Your friends are gone and you have no supplies. You need to survive the island and the creatures living on it. Yep, so New World has a pretty awesome backstory with a lot of things that you can relate to from the real world actually, with that touch of magic and that touch of fantasy. So the core side of New World is based on the free faction system, where you will team up with like-minded people to try and control the island in the way that you best see fit. Your choices are of the Syndicate, the Covenant, or the Marauders. PvP is also a choice with an opt-in and opt-out system. So if you absolutely love PvP, then well, you can leave it toggled on the entire time. Or if you just don't like PvP, or you for some reason you don't want to have PvP turned on, well, you just toggle it off. New World's combat system is definitely different from your typical MMO. So the real-time action combat that New World has is relatively easy to learn, but pretty difficult to master, creating a pretty enjoyable experience for the more casual player, but also allowing those who have more time to invest the ability to push those skill boundaries. The downside to this, however, is the game isn't very good at teaching new people who've not had the chance to try this style of combat yet, resulting in some difficult and frustrating PvP and PvE scenarios. The main quest line in New World is pretty fun and it takes you around most of the island, but it does lack some diversity. Some of the quests start to become a little repetitive and the end game PvE content is currently lacking. But for a new game, or well, a game that isn't even out yet, it's got a pretty fantastic base and it's really ready for expansion and new content. Saying that, the content that's in the game will definitely last the average player between, I think, 4 to 6 months worth of good playtime and enjoyable content. Most of the game can be pretty much completed solo, but to experience some of the other elements of the game, you will need to get together with a group, other players or friends to experience this group content. This content exists in the form of 5-man expeditions, which are your typical dungeons, 20 versus 20 end game PvP, which is called Outpost Rush. You can queue up as a solo or a group of 5 for this. You have territory wars, which is a 50 versus 50 war. These wars happen when one company wants to take control of another company's settlement, resulting in this glorious war. However, the last beta test wasn't so good for the large-scale combat, resulting in quite a lot of lag and quite a few people disconnecting, which hopefully they've fixed this by the time the game actually comes out. And finally, we have invasions. Invasions are a 50-player defensive mode where you defend your fort and your settlement against waves of attacking monsters. The caveat here is you do need to be level 55 to compete in these. New World has a pretty good life skill system, which currently consists of 17 different trade skills. These are split into 3 categories: gathering, refining, and crafting. You essentially start by gathering your materials such as wood, that you then turn into timber or lumber, which you can then use for crafting. You can level up all of your life skills to level 200, and as you go, you unlock new items for you to craft. You do, however, need to make sure the crafting station in the town you're in has a high enough crafting station level. This is upgraded by the governing company. So that's a little bit of information about the game, very top level stuff, but ultimately, do I think it's worth it? Personally for me, I absolutely love games like Chivalry 2, Mordau, Rome Total War, and games that have this sort of realism, like historic factor to them. So New World pretty much fits that category for me, with this extra added fantasy behind the world that is Eternum. I also love the combat system. It's something that I think a lot of other people will come to love as well. And that being said, since they started to add quite a bit of content over the last few months, there have been a few issues with the game, which during the betas have made it pretty unplayable at times, where the servers were toppling over, there was big lag, people finding exploits and duping. But we do need to take into consideration that the game is new, it isn't even out yet, and over the last 12 months they have been really pushing lots of content. So we can be a little bit understanding there. I think the game does need more PvE content as well, and especially kind of around the end game. So I think this will come in forms of expansions or updates, new zones, new weapons, things like this. And I do believe that there needs to be more of an incentive to flag up for PvP. A lot of the game is PvP orientated, and if people just don't flag up, then all of that content starts to disappear. But with all that being said, yes, I believe if you have the money for the game, I absolutely think that it's worth it. The game is genuinely exciting. The environment is bloody gorgeous, and I think the sound design is literally world class. I do genuinely look forward to see where New World goes in the near future, and I hope you guys join me for the journey too. I'll be creating lots of content around New World. I've absolutely loved it so far. I also run a company called Pirate Gaming, which you'll be able to find in the description below. I also stream pretty much daily over on Twitch. I've popped the link in the description below, so please do come over and hang out. It'll be awesome to meet you guys. And thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you guys being here.